Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're all doing okay, staying healthy, feeling alright, and I hope your Keepy Uppy toilet roll challenge score is improving. So we're living in such a mad time right now, right? Like 4 months ago, who would have thought this would be the situation that we're in? And it's got me thinking over the last wee while, if that's the situation I'm in, how do I do that really well? How can we live this out and navigate this weird period that we're in, like in a way that's really good? So we believe actually in this book there's a bunch of answers to that question. We're going to look at a part of the Bible called Philippians. So I'm going to read from Philippians 4 verses 4 and 5. It says this: "Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near." And so what's the truth that we want to pull out of this passage today? Right now we're going to look at just one bit. In fact, we're just going to look at 4 words. The Lord is near. The first thing is that God, He is Lord. He is the Lord. So what does Lord mean? Basically, if you call someone Lord, you're saying that they are above you. They're the master. They're in charge. You'll do what they say. They are your Lord. And so what this verse tells us is that God, He is Lord. And that's a really important thing for us to hold on to in this time, because it can feel like everything's going a bit crazy at the minute. It all feels up in the air. It feels uncertain. And in amongst that uncertainty, it's really important for us to remember that He is the Lord, that God is in control in this time. Now, that doesn't mean that bad things can't happen because God is in control, because we all know that we live in a world that's broken. All of us can experience hurt and pain. We can experience tragedy. Things don't go the way that we hope. We know that that happens. But God is able to come into that broken situation that we find ourselves in and pull good out of it. So the most obvious example of that for me recently in my life was Evie. Some of you will know that in November, my wife and I, Hazel, we lost our 3-month-old daughter Evie, which was so unexpected. It came out of nowhere, and it was just the hardest thing we've ever had to walk through, and we're still walking through it. It was just this crazy tragedy that we just never expected. And in this incredibly dark period in our lives, on one hand, you know, Evie was gone, she died, we'd lost her, and that was so hard to take. On the other side, what we experienced as a family was God's kindness in a way that we have never experienced it before. So we needed a car, and then the next day we were just chatting to someone. They just said like, "Oh, by the way, I've got a car, I need someone to kind of look after for a little while. Do you guys want to borrow it for as long as you like?" There was loads of crazy situations like that, and kind of like financial gifts coming in from people, and you know, just people wanting to get around us and bless us. So many situations where we were like, oh my word, God's kindness is just insane. Like, it was absolutely crazy, like how much He was looking out for us in that time. So in this really dark period in our lives, God was still making good happen in this horrible situation. And so I want to say this from a place of experiencing it firsthand. Whatever you are going through right now, whether you're right now just sitting in your bedroom and you feel really isolated, you feel really alone, or there's a sense of fear, you need to know that He is the Lord, that He is in control, and He has the power and the ability to bring good out of the worst of situations where it feels like how could anyone do anything good in this moment? Nothing's good about this. Actually, God is so big and so amazing and so generous and kind that He can bring goodness out of the worst of times. And the second thing we're going to talk about is that He is near. And to do this, we're going to need to stretch our legs, head downstairs, because it's kitchen time.
Kitchen time, kitchen time, get ready everybody, it's kitchen time. Kitchen time, kitchen time, get ready everybody, it's kitchen time. Kitchen time.
Welcome everyone to Kitchen Time. Now this is the moment where we're going to choose something in the kitchen that will help us explain a little bit more about what we're talking about today. And today we've went for an absolute classic. I was thinking about saving this until, you know, a few weeks down the line, kind of building up to it, but I just got so excited we had to do it today. And you've probably guessed already what it is. That's right, guys. It's the sieve. You know, sometimes in life, it can feel like life just comes along and we just take hits, right? Stuff happens and it's almost like the stuffing gets knocked out of us. The whole thing of being in lockdown and having a bunch of freedom taken away from us, that can feel like a hit. You know, maybe we feel isolated right now. Often we feel alone. Maybe there's people in our lives that let us down. And that can be another hit. Maybe, you know, we keep finding ourselves going back to sin that we know we shouldn't, and it's like time and time again that keeps happening. And in the end, life gives us these hits, and what happens in time is we can just be left feeling empty. But even though we've taken those hits, there's something that's still left in the sieve of our lives, and that's Jesus. See, these pressure moments that we go through, they're not fun, but actually they can be moments where a lot of the stuff in our lives that maybe could serve as a distraction, that could stop us seeing, we can discover and see Jesus clearly in our lives. Jesus says, I will never leave you. I will always be the same. I will always be here for you. And as much as life can have its hits, he's not going anywhere. Maybe for some of us right now, we get that. And it's like, yeah, I can experience Jesus in my life as things are right now. I know that he's with me. And that's awesome. Or maybe you're just in a place where you just feel empty. You don't know where God is. Maybe you don't even know if you have a relationship with God. Maybe you've never said yes to him. Do you know what the amazing thing is? To have Jesus in our lives, to have this foundation that will never shift or change. This isn't something that we need to earn. It's not something we work really hard to get. Actually, it's a free gift. We ask him, we say, Jesus, I want you in my life. I need you in my life. I want you to be Lord, and I want you to be near to me. And we ask, and then he comes in, and he's with us. And no matter what we go through, no matter how hard it gets, he will never leave. So when we're going through tough times, two things we can remember and be sure of is that he is the Lord and he is near. And if you are someone who you don't know Jesus, you haven't accepted him into your life, or you're not sure if you have, and you want to take that step, we're going to make space to do that just after this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye bye.